Hey everyone, today we are diving into a concept that is, frankly, a game changer. It's all about how great things get built, and it's not through some sudden stroke of luck. We're talking about the flywheel effect. You know that story we all love to hear? The overnight success, the startup that just explodes out of nowhere. But is that really how it works? Well, the truth is, there's usually something much more powerful and honestly more interesting going on behind the scenes. All right, so to really get this, we first have to wrap our heads around what the flywheel effect actually is. It uses this amazing physical metaphor that just perfectly explains how real achievement happens. At its heart, it's this simple idea. Big breakthroughs, those huge wins, they don't come from one single brilliant move. Nope. They're the result of pushing and pushing and pushing in the same direction until, eventually, momentum just takes over. It's a process, not a single event. I want you to picture a giant, heavy metal flywheel. I'm talking maybe 30 feet across, weighing thousands of pounds. And your job is to get it spinning. That first push, it takes everything you've got, and the wheel, it barely budges. The second push is just as hard. You keep at it, and for a long time, the progress is just painfully slow. But you don't give up. And then something happens. The wheel makes one full turn, then two. It starts picking up speed. The momentum starts building on itself, and pretty soon, that massive wheel is spinning with this incredible, unstoppable force. That moment, that's the breakthrough. Now, that's a cool idea, right? But what does it look like in the real world? Well, for maybe the most famous example of all time, we've got to look at Amazon. They didn't just stumble into success, they built their flywheel on purpose, from the very beginning. So here's how their flywheel works, and it's just brilliant. It all starts with offering lower prices on stuff. What do lower prices do? They attract more customers, of course. And what happens when you have a ton of customers on your site? Well, that attracts more third-party sellers who want to get in front of all those people. More sellers means a way wider selection of products. That bigger selection creates a better customer experience, which drives even more growth. And all that growth gives Amazon a lower cost structure thanks to economies of scale. And what can they do with a lower cost structure? They can offer even lower prices. See, each piece pushes the next, creating this powerful, self-reinforcing loop. And this is what's so incredible. Amazon just kept pushing on every single part of that wheel over and over and over again. Every push made the next one a little bit easier. Their massive success wasn't an overnight thing. It was the inevitable result of building and speeding up that momentum for years and years. Okay, so we've seen what it is, and we've seen it in action. But the big question is, how do you actually build a flywheel? What are the key ingredients that really make it work? Let's break down those core principles. So there are 4 key things you absolutely need. First, consistent effort. You've got to keep pushing, even when it feels like nothing's happening. Second, all your pushes have to be in the same direction. That's directional consistency. If you're pushing all over the place, you're just wasting energy. Third, it has to have a circular structure, just like we saw with Amazon, where each part feeds the next. And finally, acceleration. The whole point is that over time, the same amount of effort starts producing bigger and bigger results. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The flywheel is a powerful reminder that huge success is rarely a fluke. It's something that's engineered, piece by piece, through relentless focus, and just sticking with it. And you know, this is not just for huge billion-dollar companies. Not at all. This is a super powerful concept you can apply to your own life, in your career, with your health, with any project you care about. Just think about it for a second. Let's take a simple one. Building a healthy habit, like exercising. Those first few times you go to the gym, they're always the hardest, right? That is your first difficult push on the flywheel. But that effort leads to some small gains in strength. And those little gains make the next workout feel just a tiny bit easier, a bit more rewarding. That progress builds your motivation, and that motivation becomes the next push on the wheel. Pretty soon, exercising goes from being a total chore to a self-reinforcing habit. That's your own personal flywheel spinning away. The principle is exactly the same. So, if you want to make this work for you, it really boils down to 2 key mindsets. First, you have to think long-term. Stop looking for that one single push that's going to change everything, and start focusing on the long, steady process. And second, you have to be persistent. You just have to. The beginning is always the hardest part. Knowing that and pushing through it anyway, that is the secret to getting that wheel to finally turn. And that really brings us to the final and I think most important question of all. What is your flywheel?
in your life, in your work. What is the most important thing you need to get spinning right now? Figure out the pieces, see how they connect, and then just start pushing. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to feel that incredible, unstoppable momentum kick in.